Your road led through the sea, your pathway through the mighty waters. A pathway no one knew was there. Hi, neighbor. I would like to welcome you to another unplugged episode of Anchors of Encouragement. My name is Tim Maudlin, husband, adoptive parent, disciple of Christ, and ambassador of encouragement. I'm coming to you today from my outdoor studio. It seemed appropriate to record this episode for you outside. You'll understand why in just a moment. In our previous episode 166, I talked about selecting my word for the coming year. Actually, I've selected 2 words. In this episode, I'm going to begin the process of revealing those words to you. I'm not going to tell you what they are just yet, but I'm going to drop some breadcrumbs or clues to help you guess what this word is. The reason I'm doing this is because I'm going back to my roots. Before episode 1 of this podcast, I wanted to see whether I could pull a podcast off. And so for 120 days, I recorded a video every day. I recorded these videos using the same process I'm sharing with you now. What I would do is select a word I wanted to focus on, much like I'm focusing on a word this coming year. I would take that word and turn it vertically and create an acronym out of it. And from that acronym, I would take each letter of the word and come up with another word that would help describe the concepts and ideas from that word. Before each of these videos, I would come outside to my backyard studio and I would walk back and forth to collect my thoughts. Once I was ready to go, I would go live on my phone and share the ideas I have with my audience. And that's what I'm doing today. Over the next several episodes, I'm going to take one letter of this acronym and pick a word that helps describe the concepts and ideas behind my word for the year. Now, I said 2 words I've picked. The second word I should say, is actually going to be off of the acronym. And so I'm not going to tell you what that is yet either, but you'll start to see this as it unfolds. The other reason I'm using this word jumble is in honor of my mom. She loved to do puzzles, and one of her favorite puzzles to solve was word jumbles. Mom knew, as I've told before, she knew I was going to do a podcast, but unfortunately, she never heard the first episode. So as I'm approaching this new year, I'm thinking of her and thinking of what she would enjoy listening to. And so for the next several days, if you'll indulge me, I'm going to share these ideas from the acronym to help understand this concept of my word for the coming year. Today's letter is the letter A, and it stands for Affirmations. Your road led through the sea, your pathway through the mighty waters, a pathway no one knew was there. That passage comes from the book of Psalms, Psalm 77 and verse 19. Psalm 77 is one of my favorite psalms. I'm not going to unpack all of the ideas from that psalm today, but I will say this about verse 19. This verse comes in a section of the psalm where the writer is recounting the history of Israel when they crossed the Red Sea. Israel was literally up against a wall. They had the Red Sea behind them, and then bearing down on them was Pharaoh and his army. They had nowhere to go. As far as they were concerned, they were doomed. They were going to be brought back to Egypt and put back into slavery. There was nowhere to go, or so they thought. There was a pathway. There wasn't a way out. There was an escape. Only God was the one who knew what it was. Moses parted the Red Sea, and the Israelites walked across the Red Sea on dry ground. When I was thinking about this concept of affirmations and how it applies to my word for the year, at the time I really didn't think of Psalm 77 and 19. But because I have used this as one of my affirmations in the past, it occurred to me it was a perfect metaphor as we begin talking about this new year. None of us know what the new year is going to bring to us. However, I'm fully confident that there are pathways that will help us navigate the challenges of this year, if only we will step in faith and follow God's lead. He knows where these pathways are. He's the only one. An affirmation is something that inspires us, it encourages us, and it motivates us. I'm inspired, encouraged, and motivated by this idea of a pathway in the coming year. Let's get to your daily doable and see how you can apply this concept of affirmations for yourself. I've had several conversations with adoptive parents, and you've told me this is something that you want on the show. And so I want to bring more affirmations to you. So you can apply this concept for yourself. I want you to think of a Bible verse, a song lyric, a quote, or even a single word that speaks to you. And then I want to encourage you to commit it to memory. One of the best ways I know to commit something to my memory is to write it down. So with pen to paper, write whatever that affirmation is for you, write it down. Use it to motivate you. Use it to encourage you and inspire you. As we navigate the challenges of the adoption journey, having affirmations like this can help us when times get tough. I hope the one I've shared with you from Psalm 77 and verse 19 will encourage you in the struggles that you might have in the coming year. Your road led through the sea, your pathway through the mighty waters, a pathway no one knew was there. I'll be back in additional episodes to parse out this acronym and the different words that I'm coming up with as we begin to reveal the words for the coming year. I will give you one clue. The second word that I've come up with that I want to focus on this year is actually a derivative off of one of the letters in the acronym. Now, I'm not going to tell you which one that is, but as we get through this word, you're going to see it veil itself too. That's all for this episode. I want to thank you so much for joining me. Before I go, I would like to extend an invitation for you to join our private Facebook group. I'll have a link in the show notes. It's a group of other adoptive parents and those who are supporters of adoptive parents like myself, where we can get encouragement, encourage others as we navigate our adoption journeys. Until next time, this is Tim, encouraging you to do what you can now.